Shivananda Lahiri, verse number 76. Bhaktirmaheshapadapushkaramavasanti kadambiniva kurute paritoshavarsham sampurito bhavati yasya manastataakaha tajjanma sasyamakhilam saphalam cha nanyat. अन्वय भक्तिः महेशपदपुष्करम् आवसन्ती कादम्बिनी इव परितोषवर्षं कुरुते यस्य मनस्तटाकः सम्पूरितो भवति तत् जन्म सस्यम् अखिलं सफलम् अन्यत् न च. In the previous shloka, Sri Shankara compared the mind to the qualities of a good horse, saying that, O Lord, mount the horse of my mind and travel all around the world. Through such an illustration, he prayed that the mind should always dwell on thoughts of Parameshwara. Further to that, in this shloka, he says, if thoughts of Parameshwara are cultivated in the mind continuously, then that devotion will grow, fructifying into a rain of Ananda. Bhakti, devotion expressed in the form of continuously worshipping Parameshwara. Mahesha Pada Pushkaram, feet of Lord Shiva is the sky. In such a sky, Avasanti, residing there for a length of time, that is, when the mind remains steady, thinking of Parameshwara. Kadambini iva, Kadambini means clouds, so groups of clouds. Just like groups of clouds gather in the sky and pour down as rainwaters, this devotion also remains in the sky of Parameshwara's feet, and Paritosha Varsham, it gives a rain of bliss. Kurute, it pours down like that. Yasya, the individual whose Manastatakaha, mind in the form of a tank, with the rainwater of bliss poured down by devotion, Sampurito Bhavati, is filled and overflows. Tat Janma Sasyam, such a person's life, like a crop, that is, the life or birth is said to be the crop. Akhilam, completely, that is his whole life. Saphalam, becomes very fruitful or meaningful. Anyat nacha, no other person's life is as fruitful. In other words, it is a wasted life. That is, living a life filled with devotion to the lotus feet of Parameshwara is Brahmananda. That itself is bliss. This is the essential meaning conveyed by the verse. Here, Lord Shiva's feet is said to be the sky. So, when the mind remains focused in worshipping Lord Shiva, then the devotion fructifies. And then, just like groups of clouds from the sky pour rainwaters, the devotion translates to an experience of continuous bliss, Paramananda. That is, devotion brings waves of grace from the Lord. A devotee's mind, which is filled with waters of bliss, is said to have lived a meaningful life. The other human lives are said to have been wasted. Thus, Sri Shankara says that the purpose of attaining human birth is achieved only if it is lived as a devotee of Lord Shiva. Explanation for this verse is concluded. Shivananda Lahiri, shloka number 77. बुद्धिस्थिरा भवितुमीश्वरपादपद्मसक्ता वधूर्विरहिणीव सदा स्मरन्ती सद्भावना स्मरणदर्शनकीर्तनादिसम्मोहितेव शिवमन्त्रजपेन विन्ते. अन्वय. विरहिणी वधूः इव ईश्वरपादपद्मसक्ता सदा स्मरन्ती बुद्धिः शिवमन्त्रजपेन सम्मोहिता इव स्थिरा भवितुं सद्भावना दर्शनकीर्तनादि विन्ते. It was seen in the previous verse that when the mind is focused on Parameshwara's lotus feet, the attachment to worldly objects will cease to exist. And then the mind will be filled with love and devotion for Ishvara. The result will be an experience of the reign of bliss, making life meaningful. Now in this verse, Sri Shankara, in different words, he prays to Lord Shiva that his intellect should be firmly established in thoughts of Lord Parameshwara. Virahini. When the husband has left home for a long travel, separated from him, Vadhuhu iva, like a newly married bride, a very young wife, what would be her feeling? Similar to that, Ishvara Pada Padma Sakta, the mind being stationed firmly in the thoughts of Ishvara's lotus feet, Sada, always, Smaranti, continuing to think of the same, is the Buddhihi, intellect also. Shiva Mantra Japena, repeating the chanting of Shiva mantra again and again and again. And when such chanting takes over the mind completely, sammohita iva, forgetting the whole world and becoming deluded, as though sthira, staying in only one thought, that is, thought of Lord Shiva alone, bhavitum, becoming so, Sadbhavana Darshana Kirtanadi. Sat is the truth which always exists. Then Bhavana means dhyana or contemplation on that truth. That is contemplation on Lord Shiva. Then Darshana, visualizing only Lord Shiva always. Kirtanadi, talking only about Lord Shiva, etc. That means spending time in this way, vinte, the mind will thus attain and it will get into a meditative state. Just like a newly wedded young wife, on being separated from her husband who has gone on a long travel, continuously thinks about him, talks about him, and remains lost in thoughts about her husband, similarly, my intellect also continuously utters the sacred name of you, Lord Shiva, that is, Shiva mantra japa goes on in my mind. Then I become one with the thought of Lord Shiva, and then this mind continues to think about him all the time, see him in the mind all the time, and cannot stop singing praises of Lord Shiva all the time, says Sri Shankara. Now this word japa means repeating again and again many times. This is a very effective means to become steady in meditating on Ishvara. In Yoga Shastra, Patanjali Muni says, Tad japaha tadartha bhavanam. While repeating the name of Ishvara, the meaning should be focused upon. That is, meaning of the mantra must be contemplated upon. Then that is known as japa. As the devotee progresses in his effort on meditation, the meaning of the mantra will get more and more clear. Gradually, the devotee will envision Parameshwara within himself and also in everything around him. Thus, the condition of a truly devoted seeker is explained by Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada in this verse through the illustration of a newly wedded young wife who is separated from her husband. Just like she is deluded by constantly thinking about her husband, the Shiva Bhakta, the devotee, also constantly thinks about the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. Explanation for this verse is concluded. Shivananda Lahiri, Shloka number 78. सदुपचार विधिष्वनुबोधितां सविनयां सुहृदं समुपाश्रितां मम समुद्धर बुद्धिमिमां प्रभो वरगुणेन नवोढवधूमिव. अन्वय. हे प्रभो, सद उपचार विधिषु अनुबोधितां सविनयां सुहृदं समुपाश्रितां मम इमां बुद्धिं वरगुणेन नवोढवधूमिव समुद्धर. In the previous shloka, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada said that the intellect, buddhi, will remain firmly established in thoughts about Lord Shiva when it is trained and conditioned to continuously contemplate on the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. In this verse also, he describes how the intellect can be trained so that the mind gets a permanent place at the feet of Lord Shiva. Hey Prabhu, O Lord, you who are the best in all the matters as to what is to be done and not to be done, etc. in this universe. So, Prabhu means one who is very capable in all kinds of decision making processes. Sadupachara vidhishu. Sat means here Parameshwara. Upachara is worship and vidhishu is in the methods related to. That is, in the methods and means involved in worshipping Parameshwara. That is, the methods include puja, dhyana, smarana, kirtana, etc. Anubodhitam, being taught in the proper way, or one who has learnt correctly and understood appropriately how to worship. Then Savinayam, sensing the mindset of noble people and accordingly behaving with humility. Suhridam, person having a good pure mind. Samupashritam, relying on him. Mama, my. Imam, this. Buddhim, intellect. Varagunena, by advising about the best virtuous good qualities. Navodha vadhumiva, to a just arrived newly wedded bride, in order to encourage her to live a righteous life. Samuddhara, uplift me also, that is, by resolving all my doubts and questions, give me also confidence. Just as a bridegroom teaches the newly married young bride about virtuous qualities to help her stay in the right path, Sri Shankara prays to Paramashiva, seeking his advice and message to resolve all the doubts and questions about samsara, lift the mind, keeping it connected constantly with contemplative thoughts on Paramashiva. As an extension from the previous verse, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada says to Parameshwara, O Lord, Prabhu, my mind has been instructed about methods of worshipping you. It is humble the mind has been rendered pure and taken refuge in you. So now you have to clarify some remaining doubts about samsara and thus uplift my mind so that it can permanently stay at your lotus feet. In other words, my mind must remain committed to contemplating on you, Parameshwara. It is of significance here to note that through many of the previous verses, Sri Shankara has been describing the sentiment of bhakti in different words, suggesting the importance of bhakti in gaining moksha. Explanation for this verse is concluded here. Shivananda Lahiri, Shloka number 79. नित्यं योगी मनः सरोजदलसञ्चारक्षमस्त्वत्क्रमः शम्भो तेन कथं कठोरयमराड्वक्षः कवाटक्षतिः अत्यन्तं मृदुलं त्वदङ्घ्रियुगलं हा मे मनश्चिन्तयत्येतल्लोचनगोचरं कुरु विभो हस्तेन संवाहये. अन्वया. हे शंभो त्वत्क्रमः नित्यं योगी मनः सरोजदल संचार क्षमः तेन कठोर यमराड वक्षः कवाटः क्षतिः कथं अत्यन्तं मृदुलं त्वत् अंघ्रियुगलं मे मनः चिन्तयति हा हे विभो एतत् लोचनगोचरं कुरु हस्तेन संवाहये. In the previous two verses, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada sought Parameshwara's blessings, specifically addressing the mind. Firstly, he prayed that the mind is to be blessed so that it can dwell on thinking about, then singing, then meditating and contemplating on Parameshwara. Secondly, he prayed that such a mind be endowed with virtuous qualities which will help him to remain connected with Parameshwara always. A mind which is trained to thus stay permanently connected to Ishvara gradually feels for the safety and comfort of the personified form of the Lord. In this verse, Sri Shankara describes the devotee's feeling of tenderness and the eagerness to take care of the physical form of Parameshwara. He Shambho, O Lord Parameshwara, the giver of happiness alone, Tvat Kramaha. Krama means footstep. Your footsteps, Nityam, always, Yogi Manas Sarojadala Sanchara Kshamaha. Your footsteps have the capacity, Kshamaha, to move always around Sanchara in the mind of the yogis, Yogi Manaha, which is like the petals of the lotus, Saroja Dalam. That is, always your feet roam around in the minds of the yogis. Here, the footsteps are so very tender, is the implied meaning. Tena, with such tender, light footsteps, Kathora Yamarad Vaksha Kavata Kshatihi, the rough and hard, Kathora, broad chest, Vaksha of Yama, Yamarad. Kavata is the door. Kshatihi, kicking it and causing injury to it. That is, here Yamaraja's broad chest is compared to a hard door. Katham, how did it happen? This is making me wonder. Atyantam mridulam, very tender and soft are Tvat Angri Yugalam, your 2 feet. Me Manaha, So my mind chintayati keeps thinking, how did it withstand the pain of kicking that hard chest of Yamaraja? Ah, O Lord, my mind painfully recalls, Hey Vibho, you, the all pervading Lord, etat, those 2 feet of yours, Lochana Gocharam Kuru, please make them visible to this physical eyes so that Hastena, with my hands, Samvahaye, I can massage them and relieve you from that pain of kicking. Yogis always contemplate on Parameshwara. So it is said here that Parameshwara constantly moves around in the minds of yogis. Parameshwara's feet must be tender because the mind of yogis is soft like the lotus petals. Such tender feet of Parameshwara had to kick the hard chest region of Yamadharma Raja, the Lord of Death, when he came to take away the life of Markandeya, the Uttama Shiva Bhakta. Now, we have already heard the story of Markandeya in an earlier verse. Now, this verse refers to that story. So, thinking of the pain experienced by the Lord when his tender feet kicked the hard chest, the devotee is saddened. This is devotion filled with love and care for Parameshwara. Naturally, Sri Shankara the devotee wonders, how much the feet must have hurt. So, the remaining words in the compositions say, Lochana Gocharam Kuru Hastena Samvahaye. O Lord, please let me look at your feet. Make it visible to my physical eyes so that I can massage them with my hands and then relieve you of the pain. In the Navadha Bhakti, the 9 forms of devotion, which was explained again in an earlier context, one of them is Pada Sevanam, and this is implied here. The loving, caring devotee Sri Shankara prays, seeking to offer his services at the feet of the Lord always. This shloka is constructed in Shardula Vikridita. The description for this chandas has been given earlier. Explanation for this verse is concluded here. Shivananda Lahiri, shloka number 80. Eshyatyesh janim manosya kathinam tasminnataaniti madrakshayai girisimni komalapadaन्यासः पुराभ्यासितः नो चेद् दिव्यगृहान्तरेषु सुमनस्तल्पेषु वेद्यादिषु प्रायः सत्सु शिलातलेषु नटनं शम्भो किमर्थं तव. अन्वय. हे शम्भो, एषः जनिम् एष्यति, अस्य मनः कठिनं, तस्मिन् अटानि इति मद्रक्षायै कोमलपदन्यासः गिरिसीम्नि पुरा अभ्यासितः. नो चेत् दिव्यगृहान्तरेषु सुमनस्तल्पेषु वेद्यादिषु प्रायः सत्सु शिलातलेषु तव नटनं किमर्थम्? Having described how tender are Parameshwara's lotus feet in the previous shloka, how and why did Parameshwara dance on the mountains of Kailasha? Thus wondering, Sri Shankara Bhagavatpada in this shloka gives reasons. This shloka is also set in the Chandas Shardula Vikridita. He Shambho, by thinking of whom the mind enjoys happiness, O that Parameshwara, Eshaha, this devotee of yours, Janim, the birth, will be born. Eshyati, he will attain. Iti, asya manaha, and that devotee's mind, Kathinam, will be very hard. Tasmin, in that mind, Atani, I will have to roam around. When that devotee thinks of me, I will have to move around in his hard mind region. So, iti, thus thinking, for this reason, Madrakshayai, let me protect myself. Iti, Komalapadanyasaha, the placement of your soft, tender footsteps, Girisimni, in the mountain ranges, Pura, long ago, that is, even before I was born, Abhyasitaha, you have been training. That is, you have practiced dancing on the mountains of Kailasa since long ago because you wanted to be prepared. You wanted to prepare your feet for dancing in the hard surfaces of the devotee's mind in the future. Now, this seems to be one reason. No chet, if you did not have this intention, then Divya Grihantareshu, amidst the beautiful divine houses, then Sumanas Talpeshu, in the bed of flowers, Vedyadishu, in soft good seats or stages, Prayasatsu, generally all these places being present, which will be very conducive to dancing, you have those choices. Yet, Shilataleshu, in rocky places filled with stones, Tava, your Natanam, dance, Kimartham, why did it take place? In other words, what is the reason for you to choose to dance on the hard surfaces of those mountain regions when Parameshwara has the option to dance in beautiful houses and on surfaces which are well prepared for dance, that is, stage and platform for dancing? Now, he must have chosen to dance on the hard rocky surfaces of the mountains of Kailasa very intentionally. That intention is beautifully pictured by the loving devotee Sri Shankara as, Hey Shambho, you knew that many devotees are going to be born whose mind will be hard, and when they think of you, it would be necessary for you to dance in their mind. So, ahead of time, as a practice, you must have chosen to dance with your tender feet on the hard surfaces of the mountain ranges. Such is the very beautiful imagination by Sri Shankara. It is the nature of the human mind to keep changing. So, depending on situation and circumstances, it may express very hard feelings and behave like a stone. Based upon this understanding, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada appears to have given this beautiful hard mind of a devotee as a reason for Parameshwara choosing to dance on the rocky mountain ranges. Explanation for this verse is concluded here.